So about a month ago, I posted that video about what's going on in the stock market, and I will admit I put a bunch of money into GameStop and AMC and a few other ones, and I lost about $1,000, and I was pretty pissed with myself. So I figured, what the hell? I might as well figure out what the hell the stock market is actually all about, because I thought I knew what was going on, and honestly, I had no idea. So this past month, I've just been watching hundreds of hours on YouTube and teaching myself how to trade, how to find stocks that go up and down, and what to look for. And the cool thing about the stock market is that it exposes you to a lot of companies that you might not have heard about before, because there are a lot of businesses that are groundbreaking technology that I honestly didn't even know existed. So I wanted to share some of those companies with you, what I found, and what I believe is going to be the future of the world. First thing I want to talk about is virtual reality. It's been around for about at least 10 years that I've been around. And I remember one of my good friends, he bought a VR set, and we were over there playing for a little bit. But it was pretty new. It was expensive. It was clunky. It didn't work that great. So for past 10 years or so, I haven't really been following it at all. And so recently, Oculus just came out with a Quest 2 line, and I drove about a half an hour to the Best Buy that had it so that I can play with it. And so today's Sunday, tomorrow I go to work, and Tuesday is actually my birthday. So I'm going to try to be disciplined tonight and open it up for my birthday to have something to look forward to on my birthday. And I want to make this video because I feel like once I actually open the thing and I get involved in it, that it might change my life, and I'll explain why. So virtual reality now is it's huge. So not only is it for games, which I'm not going to really talk about because I think the practical applications are way more important than video games are, even though they are really, really cool. The practical applications are a lot more impressive, in my opinion. The first one that really brightened my eyes up was there's something called VRchat, where essentially you can pick any place in the world. People have created all these different worlds that exist, and you can go live in them. You can pick a character, some kid. There's a video on YouTube of some kid who is a Kermit the Frog character. So you're looking at Kermit the Frog talking, and it's some little kid's voice, and he's talking. It's got 10 million views, and he talks about him getting bullied in school, and he just has this confession of what it was like growing up, and how he's dealt with mental illness, and how sad he is that he got bullied, and it's horrible. And not only just that one incident, but there's other compilations of some guy who just walks around VRchat and asks people questions about their life, and his whole YouTube channel is just confessionals of people that have done shitty things in their life or have done regrettable things that they want to talk about and share with the world, because either they're too scared to go to a therapist or talk about it in real life. They feel more comfortable being a character in a fake world, talking about it to kind of get it off their chest, which I think is really cool. And therapists have actually taken VRchat and for their own practice, and they're actually doing something called exposure therapy, where let's say you have a fear of heights or a fear of spiders. Well, there's actually a video game that you can play where it simulates you being at the top of a skyscraper building in New York City, for example, and there's one wooden plank that you have to walk on and not fall on. So there's actually a video of these kids that are wearing the glasses, and they're all trying to walk the plank, and you can actually fall. And once you do fall, I'll link the video in the description, and you'll see what it's actually like experiencing that. But imagine now being in that world, this real world like the Matrix, and overcoming your fear of heights. I think it's groundbreaking stuff. Or therapy for PTSD, you can kind of relive some of those moments in a controlled environment with a therapist and help you break through some of the things that you've seen and work through. And I honestly believe it's going to change people's lives for the better, without the use of medication, without the use of experimental drugs. Like, people are going to they're flying out to Mexico to do experimental treatments with Ibogaine. It was Ibogaine, and because nothing else works. So people that are addicted to alcohol or addicted to opiates like heroin or narcotics, they're basically they tried every single medication, they tried therapy, and nothing works. So if you're that desperate that you'd rather be dead, or you're willing to spend $5,000 going to Mexico to do some experimental treatment, like, what are you going to choose? So these people are doing it, and they're with a therapist. It's a very controlled environment. So they're taking these drugs under the recommendation of a therapist who's with them in the room, and overcoming their addictions. It's mind-blowing stuff. So they're actually legalizing it in states like Oregon that are more progressive. But I hope that someday it'll be legal. But I kind of went off on a tangent. So that's VR. And I think, like I said, when I open mine on my birthday on Tuesday, I think it's going to change my life. Like, I hope I don't get wrapped up. I'm going to try to make sure that I'm very disciplined about the amount of time I spend in it. But people could, if you watch Black Mirror, that show on Netflix, people that are suffering, they want to escape their real life because it's horrible. They got a shitty job, they got broke girlfriend, wife, husband just broke up with them, so they want to just escape. So this could be the way for them to escape. And yeah, I thought that was interesting. And the next thing, so this video isn't too long, is augmented reality. Now, if you ever played that game Pokemon Go, you kind of know what I'm talking about. That came out years ago, and where you can see real life, and a little Pokemon is in front of you and you got to catch it. Well, that was kind of like the groundbreaking stuff for AR is taking stuff like that and putting it into your screen. But now imagine with Google, with glasses. So putting on a pair of glasses, and now imagine you could fly. If you know nothing about flying a plane and you're sitting in the cockpit of a real plane, you can now, with just a pair of goggles, you can now see what every single knob and switch and throttle and joystick or whatever does, just by looking through a piece of glass, and it'll tell you which one that you need to push in order to land the plane, or in case of an emergency. Or another example, let's say you're a heart surgeon, you can use the glasses to help you see where the cancer is, or whatever thing you gotta cut out of the person, whatever surgery you're doing, based on their x-rays or their CAT scans or MRIs. Now you have a exact view of where it is because you've scanned their entire body, and you can remove the cancer or something like that. I mean, the amount of things you could do are just endless, and it's kind of scary too, because there's also this episode on Black Mirror where there was a couple, and then they broke up their marriage, and the wife blocks him, and they have a microchip implanted into the brain. So since she blocked him, anytime that she sees him, his face is all blurry, his whole body is just a blur, and anytime that he speaks, it just garbles his speech. And that, I think that's going to be the reality soon, but you could do it with glasses. So if you block somebody on your Facebook app, then whenever you see them in reality or in real life, it'll literally block them on your glasses. Or, Facebook and Google are really, and probably Apple too, but I don't use Apple products, they're really good about doing facial recognition and finding what pictures you are tagged in and asking if you want to be tagged in that photo. And if you have Google Photos, you can literally search for all the photos you have of your friends or your family based on their face alone. Like, you can do it right now. If you open Google Photos app and you go to the search thing, it has an entire index of all the people that you've ever taken a picture with. You click on their face, and it literally comes up with an entire list of other photos throughout your entire life that you have of this person. So imagine if you're walking around and you see some cute girl at the gym, and you're wearing your glasses, and you want to stalk her Instagram or her Facebook profile. You just tap a button and then scans her face, and now you can find her Facebook profile. I think that's going to be the future in the next 5 to 10 years. But the possibilities are endless. So if anybody wants to talk more about this, I hit the 10-minute limit. I don't want to go any longer than this because people will lose their attention span. So sorry if this is going to sound horrible because my windshield wipers are on, but I wanted to talk about this on the way home, because I know if I don't do it now, then I might never do it, because perfectionism, and that's something I struggle with. So that's it. Thanks to y'all for listening, and see you soon.